I'm so happy to have you today. If you are joining us live on Facebook, feel free to tell us where you're from and go ahead and introduce yourself here in the chat if you want to say hi. We are going to be focused today, like lightning round, on creating content. I want to show you some simple ways to be able to do that today using a variety of different tools. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen. And one of the most important things that I think to do before we even dive into content creation is to talk about having a document that is for your company blueprint. So basically, what this is going to look like is a listing of all the key components of your business. And if you're just starting out, you may not have developed this yet, but this is something that I think is so important because it is going to help us when we're creating content and when we are, anytime we're using like chat or Claude, any of those tools, we can add this company document there and it will know all about our business. So I'm going to show you, and this is one of the things that I do with clients, one of the first things that I have us establish, because it will really help us to get clear on what are our offerings, who is our client. And so in here, I just start off by putting a little bit about me, my value statement, what makes me different, anything about my brand voice, my tone, my language style, the themes and messages, any of that information is all found in here. Then I do an ideal client avatar or ICP, whatever you want to call it, and put in here some information about what that client looks like. And that way I can tailor my content towards their struggles and pain points, what makes them laugh. And then the other key piece is putting in your offers. So what are the things that, you are offering them? So it might be an assessment call. It might be, for me, I can offer GHL, one-to-one coaching, my Skool community. All of those are spelled out, what people get when they join, and it's just very clear so that we know the path from beginning to where we want to take them. And then also any free resources, any lead magnets or anything that I have collected, I have it all in one space. Now, if this is already overwhelming and you're like, I don't have that done yet, then I just want to let you know that I have a group on Skool and we have this very exact plan of putting your company details together, and it's called anchoring your vision. And I know some of you, if you're on the chat, I know Jana has been on hers, but basically this just helps you to do all of those parts without feeling overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin. Here's a copy of the document, helps you build out your biz bio, your value statement, your brand voice builder, and your ideal client builder. So I have created tools to help you put all of that together for that document. And I'll tell you more about that Skool community later, but I just wanted you to know that this is the piece that I'm going to start with. And I want to show you how I do my content. So one of the things that I would definitely suggest is utilizing NotebookLM for your content. And I know I've done a lot of trainings on this, but this is one tool that I think is so valuable. And if you haven't played before, Notebook is basically a place where you're going to create different types of content in this little folder or notebook. So for this one that I'm going to show you is the AI coaching with Angelina. So these are my offerings and the things that I have created. And I uploaded, like I was talking about earlier, my company details document here. And then I have some other things that I have made, and I'm going to show you how I've made those because I think you might also find this interesting to be able to do with your own business. I'm going to also be copying and pasting a lot of prompts. If you would like me to send you after this is done, if you're on the Zoom, you're automatically going to get it. But if you're on Facebook and you want me, type in show notes if you're watching live, and I will send you a summary of all of this because the prompts, some of them are a little bit longer. So to start off, I want to talk about how we can advertise ourselves or our business without it feeling salesy. And the way to do that is to really reach out to our customers and to their pain points. So what I've done so far, hi, Nikki, I have uploaded my company detail document here. Okay, so that is the source that I have created. And I'm going to uncheck everything else so that I'm only using my company blueprint, my document. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy a prompt that's really going to help me to be able to identify the pain points of my clients. So here we go. This prompt is gigantic, but let me tell you a little bit about it. So it's act as a world-renowned marketing and sales expert who has a deep understanding of human psychology and marketing. I'd like you to help me craft a compelling content that instills buying beliefs and encourages my client to want to buy from me. This month I'm promoting, and you can save this and use it over. So for me, I'm going to say my Skool community, and I'm going to say to reference the offer for in my company details. And that's how it will know to pull. I don't have to re-enter all of that information. Okay. And then if I want to speak to any holidays, I can add in something like maybe like around love and how we want to love our business. That sounds fun. Okay. And then everything else should be pretty solid in here. Please make me a list of buying beliefs that my clients would need to have. And then it focuses around these categories. Why me? Why this? Why you? Why now? Why not? Why stay? Okay. And then I want to put it into a table with headers. So I'm going to push enter. And then what it's going to do is it's basically going to process and search just this document here, not these other sources, because only that one is checked. So it's only going to reference that. And then it's going to complete this beautiful table. Now, if you haven't used NotebookLM before, this here in the middle is like your chat and your conversation. And it can go away, like I was chatting with it earlier and I deleted it all. But if you want, up in here, you can configure the notebook. So if you like to have longer responses, you can actually change the way that it talks back with you if you want to do that. That was the little icon right here for configure notebook. So here are some of the buying beliefs that came back. So again, this is for my AI amplified Skool community. You would be doing it for whatever your business is. These are some of the buying beliefs that I really want to tap into when I'm thinking about talking with clients, or when I create content, it'll be around these concepts. So this is a good one. Like, I've taken a million courses. I don't want to just add to my clutter. What I really need is a gym membership for my business where I show up, co-work, and implement in real time so the work gets finished. That's pretty awesome. Let's see. I like this one, and it knows because it's looking at my bio, but Angelina is not a tech bro. She's going to amplify the magic with a heart-led strategy. So all of those buying beliefs now, what I'm going to do is actually save it to a note. And what's going to happen is that note will appear over in the studio, which is over in here. Now, I've added some things already. When you first come in, yours will not look like that. So I'm going to save it to a note. And now here it is. If I want to come in, I'm able to take a look at this, copy and paste it, whatever I want. And it will always be there. I can also rename that. So if I want to click there and change the name. And then another thing that I want to do is convert it to a source. And the reason I want to convert it to a source is I'm going to want this over here, and I want it to reference that for my content creation. So I'm going to say convert to source. And now you'll see that it's over here. So I'm going to rename this buying beliefs so that I can remember what it is. And now that's a source. So when I click here, it'll open it up and I'll be able to see it. Now I'm just going to pause to see if there's any questions. Does that make sense so far, what we've done? Yeah. Nikki, how are you feeling? I know you
Yeah, I had a hard time finding the link to get in here, so that's why
are.
I'm a little late. Do you need Notebook LM to do this is my question.
So for this particular thing that I'm showing, yes. However, it's free and you are going to love it if you haven't used it yet.
I
So
have.
I'll back up just a step to show you when you first come in. So I have created, and I'm going to highlight, sorry, Derek, to pick on you. He's on the call today, but I'm working with Derek and he has so much content that's created. It is phenomenal. So if you are a person, you've already got a bunch of content created, this is going to rock your world because you can come in here and you can create a notebook just of, for example, Derek has a bunch of different workshops that he's done. So we took the transcripts and then we turned them into just text and then uploaded them as the sources. And now we are able to go in there and create content with all of those sources. So all you have to use NotebookLM is a Google account. So you go to notebooklm.google.com and then log in with your Google account. Now, I know that someone asked if we have to have the blueprint for our business before we're able to complete the buying beliefs. It might be helpful, even if you have just something that's like what you're offering, that will be helpful. And I'll even back up to show you to create a new notebook. It is like super simple. So you go to create new notebook. And then here is where you can pull in all kinds of different sources. And I'll show you like, if we start from scratch, I'll show you that as well. But for today, what I did is I pulled in an actual document. So like I uploaded the file, which was my company details. And it's as simple as that. So now that file that is my company details, it has all of that in here. You can upload a PDF, you can upload videos, anything that you have, you can put in there, even if it's just text. If you don't have anything, you can still use NotebookLM. You can go in here and say add sources and just search the web. And I'm gonna circle back to that one because I find that's a great way to create content for my audience. If I'm like, I don't know what to post this week, let me research a topic. Did that help a little bit?
I just went to Notebook LM. So I'm in, and now I just see the option to click create a new notebook. And I guess that's where I should start, create new.
Yes, you
Okay.
can. And honestly, if you even just want to watch for now, I'm going to give you the replay with all the prompts because I don't think it's going to be able to, you'll be able to keep up. So just
Right.
understand, not that you couldn't, Nikki, keep up, but because the prompts are so long to try to type them.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I will share everything after we're finished, including the replay and the show notes that'll spell all of this out.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. So I created my buying beliefs in here. And then I came over here and I created let's see, we said save to note. And so it made a notebook down here, a little note. I shouldn't call it a notebook, like a piece of paper in your notebook. And then I saved it as a source. So now it is always going to be over here when I want to utilize it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a prompt again. And I'm going to say, let's see here. I'm going to say, now take all of these. So take these buying beliefs and create a one-liner for each of them from the perspective of an entrepreneur who struggles with ADHD and has a million ideas and needs to take action. Put this in a table format. And the reason I'm going to do that is that's really my ideal client. Okay. So they have all these great ideas and they need some help executing or taking action on them. And so I teach how to use AI to do that. Okay. So now, oh, and I made a mistake. I don't know if you noticed my mistake, and I'm pointing this out because you'll probably do it too. All of these were checked, and I actually don't know if I wanted to reference all of those. So I could come back and say, don't reference those, but I'll see what it comes up with. It might be fine. Okay, so here is the buying belief. So I have a Ferrari brain with bicycle brakes. I need a system that keeps up without crashing. I'm done letting my messy middle allow me to be the bottleneck of my own brilliance. If I don't do it in the room with the body double, it's never going to get done. AI is the executive assistant I can't afford to hire yet. So all of these are topics that I can utilize to create my content. And so what I'm going to do is actually save these. Same concept again. So I'm going to click Save to Note, and it's going to create this note over here. And then I'm going to do the same thing as I did before. And I'm going to click the three dots, and I'm going to say Convert to Source. Now, if you remember, the reason I did that is it will create a source over here that I can then reference when I'm doing all the things that I'm about to show you. All right. Now, are you ready for your mind to be blown? So what I can do here, now this is getting a little bit fancy, okay? And you don't have to use NotebookLM to do this, but I just want to show you a way that you can use those bind beliefs to create, let's say, 15 days worth of content if you'd like. So I'm going to use this little line dots here, and I'm going to say export to sheets. Okay. And the reason why is now it's going to come over here. And if I don't, I'm going to delete the category because I don't need that for what I'm going to show you. So I don't know if you've ever done this before, but in Canva, you can actually take this list. So there's 15 ideas here. Now, obviously, I'm going to read them and I'm going to see if they even make sense because some of them may not. But I'm going to take these bind beliefs and I'm going to go over to Canva and I am going to show you how you can take all of them and create 15 quick little posts, okay? Now, what I've done is I stole this straight from Jonathan Mast. I'll give credit where credit's due, but he has a little template that he made with an image of something here and then text here. So your first step would be to create some kind of little template. If you want an image on the top, great. If you just want to use text, that's fine too. So this is my template. And right here where this text is, I'm going to connect that. I don't know if you knew you could do this, but it's called bulk uploading. So I'm going to come over here in Canva and go to apps. And there is an app that's called Bulk Create. So I'm going to click Bulk Create. And what it's going to do is ask, how do I want to enter this information? So I'm going to click Google Sheets. And actually, let's see, I might be able to just copy and paste this. Oh, you know what? That's what I'll do. I will upload it. I'll download it as a CSV. So File, Download, CSV, and then I'll upload it here. Okay, so now what it did is it took all 15 of those buying beliefs and I'm going to connect it to this text here. So you'll see there's a little thing that says connect data, and I'm going to connect the beliefs with this text. Then I'll click continue. Now it picked all of those beliefs and it's going to create 14 designs for me. Now you're probably like, okay, but that's the same image over and over. Yes, it is. However, we could totally swap these out by just pushing delete and then having some, I have the same images that I use over and I can just pull those in. If you don't have images, you can also search here in the elements to find the things. But I want to teach you simple. So one thing that I have like a bank of consistent characters. Now, if you don't like this Pixar type image, that's okay. You can use whatever images you like. If they're people, if they're robots, whatever it is that you want, save them in a folder and have those images that you love. And the reason why is, I'm going to show you this in a minute too. You can take those images and have them do different things. Okay. So for example, and I'm going to show you this. I was like, okay, I'm going to try to pick 5 characters or so that I'm going to use over and over. Okay. So here's my one girl. Here's another one, third one, fourth one, fifth one. And then you'll notice, hey, look at that. Now I added this guy into the mix. And the reason is because, and I'm going to show you this, you can take all these characters and put them together in different scenes. And so it looks like you're super creative, but you're really utilizing the same people or characters or dogs or whatever it is, products over and over. Okay. Because again, you want to simplify. All right. Now I'm going to show you because I wanted to just see what this would look like. And I created some of these today so you could see. So like these are actual posts that I can totally use. Active implementation beats passive learning every time. AI is my partner in creativity, not replacement for my humanity. Structure creates freedom. So all of these I could schedule out to post if I wanted, or if I'm like having a bad day and I'm like, I don't know what to post, I could just go here and get something so that I have a bank to pull from. And like I said, that created like 15 different little clips. I changed the color so it looks different. Okay, so I'm going to pause because I know I'm going fast and I want to make sure to honor if there's any questions. So I'll pause and I'll check in on Facebook to see if anybody has anything they're wondering about. Hopefully it's posting live there. Okay, so that is how to, and then again, if you want to edit these, you can just come in and move them around and change your color. But the idea is that you get a good template first. And then each month, you could totally repeat this cycle. Just grab a different template and mix and match. Or if you're doing it weekly, whatever your strategy is going to be. All right, let's see here. I am going to now, still sharing my screen. You guys, I'm sorry, I'm not a Zoom expert to go back and forth like this. Now what I want to show you is how you can actually create multiple characters and do magical things in Gemini. That was one of the things that I talked about. I do have a pro account, so there are certain limits. I feel like this is maybe $20. I know that if you have workspace that some pieces are included, so you'll have to play around a little bit with that. But what I do here is I just come in and you can say, create image. So I'm going to upload. Again, I'm just going to grab one of my characters. Let's see, we'll use. So we'll grab this girl and we'll do these two. And so now let's say I want to put them together and say, have these 2 characters working at a coffee shop. And again, this is going back to branding. So like you have those people that they're going to recognize you because of your characters and the people that you're including. And so it's going to create an image. Now, if I don't like that, certainly I can come back at it, but that's pretty darn good. Okay. And now you can even go so far. So what I'd like to do is download that and again, put it in that file so I remember to use it. And then I'll say, can you animate these girls talking about how amazing the school, the AI amplified school community is? You guys are going to be sick of me talking about that. And so then what it'll do is it'll just create now. You don't have to have them talking. You can just say, animate this. I don't know if you've seen some of the posts that I've done, but like just a static image and it will create. In fact, let me see if I can find nope, that's definitely not it. This is crazy. So I gave it, and I'll show you how to make these too. This image here, and then I gave a second image and I said, put these together and animate it and look at this. And there's a little bit of sound to it, but it's not playing. So if you needed to you just want to catch their eye. And so putting those two things together is super fun. Okay, so we'll come back to that video. If I don't, you can remind me. So that's a way you can take images, them into video. It's the same stuff, but you can post it just a little bit later and have that content there. Okay, so now here's some more questions that I can ask back on Notebook. I don't want used. So I'm going to ask this question here. How can I turn these beliefs into engaging social posts? So now it's going to help me. And even if I don't love what it says here, these are just maybe some starting points. And again, I can put those with the images that I just created and have a bunch of content that I'm able to put out. Okay, so these are for the ADHD entrepreneur persona. It's got the headline and hook. And then the caption, let's be real, January 1st energy. That was a honeymoon phase, but now it's February. So this will just give me some really great ideas. And again, it's referencing my business so it knows that information about me. I'm going to add another topic that I could be able to put on here, which is if you could give me 5 topics to explore deeply in my teaching about these systems. Now, you might be like, what in the world are you talking about? And I'm going to pause to explain this here. So this is just me personally. I have found it super helpful to get into a rhythm and a cadence of having a topic that I am posting about for the week. And so I try to stick with a theme that allows me to go a little bit deeper and cycle through what that looks like. And I'll explain how, for me, what I do for my system. But I want to start by getting some ideas of different topics that I might be able to post about. Now, you may say, I already know what I want to talk about. You don't need to ask this question. But this is a great idea because now it knows the buying beliefs. So it's, hey, can you give me 5 topics to explore deeply in my teaching about these systems? Okay, so here we go. It's going to read everything and then come back with some ideas. Okay, while we're waiting for that to happen, would you all be okay if I took a little picture? I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second and unpin myself, remove spotlight. There's more than 3 people here, right? Okay, hi, Derek. I'll just take a quick, there you go. Hey, Judy, thanks for joining us. All right, let me do just a quick, there's a lot of people here. Yay. Oh, all right. John, are you coming back? Oh, oh my gosh, there's so many of you. Clearly, I have not mastered the art of using Zoom and teaching all at the same time. Here we go. Okay, smile. Or how to take a picture, but that's okay. What I'm going to do with this is put it on Facebook with a nice little comment, and I'll share it with you in just a second. And if you all have time, you can share your nuggets because I know that you're having conversations about the things that you're learning. So I appreciate that. I'll pause to ask if there's any questions so far about what we've done. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share this. If you have anything that you are loving, something that you're going to try, then feel free to, let's see. I'll come back to that in just a second. All right, let me share my screen again and see what Notebook has come up with for our topics. Here we go. Okay, so based on this framework, here are some topics: workflows and how it's actually putting the back end systems, moving from resentment to romance. I was like, is this Derek's topic that it's giving me? But it's talking about leaning into the February love theme, like loving your business and putting frameworks in. The idea catcher versus the content creator. And so if you just take a minute, dissect that, and come up with one idea that you're going to focus on, that's going to be the next step. Okay. So I'm going to shift a little bit. We've done our work over here with my brands. Now I can come back to that notebook anytime I want and make multiple things. In fact, I will say, and I'm going to show you these tools in here in just a bit, but it's really great at making infographics. I did utilize some of these, and I'll show you how we could play with these a little bit as well in the next activity. Okay. So the next thing that I want to show you is how you can take your theme or your topic for the week and then create your content. Very similar to what we just did. For this one, I decided, now this is me. I thought if I'm going to go and I'm going to teach this, I'm actually going to do it and make it stuff that I'm really going to share. So if you watch my content, you'll be seeing next week that I'm going to focus on making meaningful connections with your audience. And I did a little brainstorming with ChatGPT and I came up with what would be the things that I would really want to hit home on why it's important to make meaningful connections and how do we do that utilizing AI. And so came up with these 5 content pillars: crafting personal stories to share on social media, engaging in Facebook groups authentically, going live to connect in real time, kind of like what we're doing now, responding to comments authentically, and then using this social analyzer tool that I've recently discovered that is amazing to help you refine your content. So what I did was I just came up with this little outline. Okay. And the reason that I did it in a Google Doc is so that, guess what? I can create a notebook with it. So what I did is I came over here, and I know if your brain is hurting, then I'm sorry, but we are all about taking action. And this is going to be so powerful for you guys. So what I did is I made a notebook called Making Meaningful Connections. Now you'll notice it already has 9 sources. But if I were starting this from scratch, I would just go to create a new notebook and I would add that file right here. Okay. But lucky for you, you don't have to watch and do all that. I already started it. So let's grab that one. And here is that document. Your theme is your superpower. So it has those 5 little topics that I was telling you about. And then I was like, yes, I know stuff and I could certainly come up with things, but I'm just going to search for some sources that are already created. And so what I did is I said, add sources. And the first one that I put in there was something about going live on Facebook to grow your audience. Okay, so I just did a search and it's going to come back with a ton of resources. You don't need to upload a ton of resources. You can just pick 1 or 2 that you feel like, okay, that would probably be helpful. And so you can click view and it'll show you these sources. Okay, so I'm just going to uncheck all of these. We'll try bringing in just one video and see what happens. Sometimes it doesn't love the videos, it can't read them, but we'll see if that works. Okay, now you'll notice that the topic, the description here is longer. And so what I actually did, and I'll explain the reason why, because I know this is a lot of steps, but I renamed my sources so that when I'm going to do my content creation in just a moment, if I'm really talking about Facebook groups, I'm only going to check mark Facebook groups, right? So right now, I'm going to rename this to be called Facebook Live. And now you can see, and there's some other ones that are called Facebook Live, and that's okay. I can change it if I want. But now you can see I have 2 about storytelling, there's 3 about Facebook Live, and then a couple about Facebook groups. And this one, I actually just put, because it's the tool that I'm going to be talking about, I just put the website and it can read all of the content on there. So it's really super cool. Okay, so now I'm going to pause and make sure that made sense. Everybody good? Okay, so now that I have all this in here, and again, I was actually chatting with this earlier, so I'm going to delete the chat. And the prompt that I'm going to put in here, I'm going to start off, and this one, what are 5 key concepts that I can highlight for my audience? Create 5 Facebook posts on the benefit of participating in Facebook groups to grow your audience. And again, you are going to leave here with so many ideas, with content galore. So you also are going to want a system for how you're going to remember the content, right? So like for me, I'm like, okay, it gave me these ideas and then it gave me the actual posts. Stop it. So all I have to do, I could either go right now to Facebook and just post some of these things, or I can save this as a note over here, and I'm going to rename it because I'm really bad about remembering things. So I'm going to say 5 Facebook posts. Okay, great. Now, and some of you know this because I've been doing with it, I'm trying to go live daily to create videos. But sometimes it's, holy cow, I don't know what to talk about anymore. So I'm going to say, give me 3 short video topics. I'll even say like less than 1 minute, and give me the script. So it's give me 3 short video topics I could create for my audience about these topics, like less than 1 minute, and give me the script. Okay. So again, now when it comes up with those, I can save it as a note so that over here, I'll have the scripts to talk about. Imagine how easy this is going to be if you just sit down for an hour, plan it all out, and then you can hit the ground running with getting your posts up. So watch this. Here's the truth. You don't grow an audience by pitching. You grow by becoming a familiar name that people actually trust. So instead of posting a link today, would you try the value first strategy? Find a question in a group that you know the answer to and leave a thoughtful comment with a real tip and maybe a little story about how you solve that problem. When you lead with generosity, people are going to click on your profile because they want to know you, not because you force them to. Try this today and watch how your notifications change. Holy cow, that's amazing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is save this to a note so that I don't lose it. Again, click on it, save the title. These are called my video scripts. Okay, so right now I already have 8 pieces of content that I can create. Okay, the video scripts I can repurpose because I might put it on my Facebook page. I might create a YouTube short. I could put it on Instagram. Look at all that content just from talking just a little bit with this notebook. All right, now, are you ready for some magic over here in the studio? Okay, in the studio, what you're going to do is, and this is where this check marking of things is going to come important. So the first thing that we're going to do is create a slide deck. Okay. And to do that, I'm actually going to uncheck all of the sources, and I'm just going to focus on Facebook Lives for now. Okay. So only Facebook Live is checked. And I'm going to go to slide deck and click the pencil. Now there's two choices here, and this is where it really does matter your prompting. Okay. So you can either choose detailed deck or presenter slides. Either one will get you your outcome, but presenter slides are typically going to have less words with just like key talking points. So I like to select that because it'll be less text heavy. Okay. You could also then give it a prompt. Now, I like to use the same kind of colors and symbols in my content. So here's what it said. I have this prompt. This deck must be quote based, meaning most slides are built around one powerful quote paired with one simple visual idea. On screen text layout, like a big quote centered, small line at the bottom. Include photographs where relevant with limited text. Make the background black, use these colors, and then these symbols. And I'm going to click generate. Now, what you will see happening is under the studio here, it's generating that slide deck. Okay. But I'm going to show you, I actually created one right here already. And if I forget, it's called the human advantage. And honestly, I have no idea what that means. So I can click these three dots here and say view custom prompt. And then I'll remember maybe what I put there. Now, I don't remember which three data sources it is. So let's just take a look at it. Okay. So what it does is it basically creates a slideshow. Okay. So humanize the art of storytelling and connection. Now, that doesn't give too much away, but a couple of things. If I need just a quick, snappy post, all I have to do is come over here. I'm going to do a screenshot and bam, now I have something to put on Facebook. And then I can write my content there with that graphic. Okay. And again, some of these, I don't love them. Okay. But this one, that's pretty awesome. Okay. And then over here, stop hiding behind the brand, show us who you are. That's a little bit harsh. A great story is just a moment, a lesson, and a reason it matters. So some of these are pretty awesome. Okay, so what I'm going to do though is you may come. So here's a perfect example, actually. This one, it is pulling the text from the actual sources and it doesn't make sense. So I'm going to show you, you can actually edit these. You can edit the infographics, the slides, whatever. So let me show you how to do that. For this one, I'm going to click download. That's this little icon right here. Okay. I'm going to head over to my best friend Canva and I am going to, excuse me, I'm going to create, I'll say a presentation. And then all I have to do is upload an upload file. Grab my download. Whoops, at the top. Because it makes a PDF for some strange reason. But what's cool is you can bring all of those, each of those slides, you can bring them in. Now it's not moving as fast. So I'll say apply all 15 pages and we should be good. There we go. How amazing is that? But you're like, oh, wait, we need to change that one. It had some weird language at the bottom. I think it was this one. Okay, so there's this text. Now, multiple ways you could do that. I could change the size. I could edit the picture, but there's actually this thing that says edit here. And you can go in here and grab the text. Okay. That takes a little second. So you'll see the words are flashing. So I'm going to click to grab this text and then say grab. And then now I can either delete it or just change it. Don't be a hero, be a human who learned a lesson. And I'm going to say, whoops, what lesson are you sharing with your audience today? And then look at that. Now I have some text. If I wanted to upload a picture, I could do that. Trying to see if, as you can see, I've been doing a lot of work here on some different crazy projects. So we'll just not worry too much about that. But if I wanted, I will say, we want that we wanted that image there. You can erase the background. You get the idea. So now I could have myself or my avatar. What's also cool about this is if you want to change the size, again, this is a strange size, but now I want to make it a Facebook post. You can just click those little three dots and say resize page. And maybe I want it to be a Facebook post. And then here it is. And I can just pull this out a little bit. Change the background. I could do it like that. Oh my gosh, it changed the color on the thing. That's even better. How fun. And again, I don't like that text there at the bottom. So you could just cut it or do that magic grab. I'm not being patient, so it's not cooperating, but you get the idea. Okay. And then I am able to just take that and post it with maybe a story or something else over on Facebook. Okay. So let's see what else do we have. So that's how you download and bring into Canva. And there's multiple tools that you can actually do that with. So that was with a slide deck. Here's the other slide deck that it created. Let's see. Now, again, mine are black because I'm telling it to do that. So these are not as cute, but if you want it to be more with photos, you just tell it to do that. So all of those are different pieces that I could bring in. Okay. There is something that's also called an audio script, audio overview. If you click this arrow here, or not arrow, pencil, it has different ways that you can take your information and synthesize it. So, for example, there's a brief, which is what I did here. I have a feeling that you won't be able to hear the sound. See, unfortunately, you cannot. But the instructions that I said for this prompt, I said, focus on the benefits and best practices on sharing in a Facebook group using the source provided. Okay. So it focuses only on that. And I only check marked those particular tools. Another one is to do a video overview. And so for this, I had it. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. Oh, so I had all it did was took the social analyzer website and it created a video telling users all about it. Okay. Which is the game changer because it is so descriptive. But what I love about the video, when you create it, you can pick your theme, and I'll show you that. even if, let's say, you can't hear this, it has like this here. You can screenshot this, and that is can be a social media post as a still graphic. Are your minds totally blown right now? There's so many ways to use this. So to do that, I did a video overview. And when you come in here, you can do an explainer or a brief. And then back in here, you can select your visual style. And this is important because those are the images that it's going to use when it's talking about it. And then you can also customize it. Like for my video, I said, here was the prompt that I put in there. I said, create an overview of the AI social sales analyzer. Speak specifically how it can help you to make connections with your audience and use these particular colors. Okay. And the videos do take a little bit of time to create. So that's why I did them ahead of time. But like I said, you can grab those images and be able to create something. Now, we know that email marketing is important. So again, I am repurposing all of this content. So now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, create an email inviting people to a live session where I'm going to share all of these ways to make meaningful connections with your audience. Okay. So now I'm inviting people with my email. For me, I try, although I'm admitting today, because you didn't get the email till Thursday and I was going live in like 2 hours. I was sick, but that's okay. I still got it out there. I try to do an email on Tuesdays. So every Tuesday they'll get, here's what's going on this week. So here we go. Stop selling and start connecting. Live training. Do you ever feel like you're posting into the void? You spend hours crafting the perfect content, hit publish, and then crickets. In this week's session, I'm going live to teach blah, blah, blah. Okay. All I have to do is copy that over on my email template, send it out next Tuesday. I'm done. Okay. So I'm going to save this because, again, I'm seriously using all this content. You guys are going to be like, I already saw all of your stuff, Angie. So I'm going to call this my email. Okay. Now, I also like to create a blog post. Super secret. The blog post is really going to be the live that I'm doing right now. So it's like, it's all coming together. So like when we're done here, I'm going to take all these notes, the transcript, and I'm going to have it create a blog post for me. If I want to get started though, I can go here and say report, and it's going to show you all different kinds of reports. So if I want to choose blog post, I'll click in here and it'll make a blog post. Okay. And I actually did that here in one of these things. But I'll tell you, I didn't like the output. So I actually used my own custom GPT. And then what I love about, I'm spoiled about my GPT and I will share it with you. It's called Betsy the Blogger. I'll put that here. So what I love about it is it will give you oh, it even said blog post there. Good. So here, 5 counterintuitive truths for building an audience that actually buys. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, create a better blog post that is more fun and human. And then it's going to take all of these concepts. Okay. Let's see. What do you want to say? Building an audience that buys. And I want them to join try Anna. We'll say try Anna AI. Okay. So now it's going to make this here. Got my blog post. And again, we want to use the tools where we are playing in the playgrounds where we're at. So I'm on ChatGPT right now. And I'm like, hey, let's make this one. So create this blog post. image. It knew to make an image. So then now I have the image and my blog post. So everything's ready to go. Okay. And I know you guys are probably like, lady, stop with all of these ideas. There's just a couple more. So stick with me. There's one that is the infographic, and that will create, it'll take all of your information and create a little image for you. So this one is the 5 pillars of audience connection. And again, if I don't love these, I can go in and maybe I just want to grab these little images and use those. I can do that over on Canva when I download it. There are some bonus tools that I have. So I have a viral thread maker that I can share as well, which allows you to make viral threads. What I'm going to put here now, again, I'm asking it for some topics. What are 5 statements that would be good for a viral post? So it's going to come back with some of those tools and ideas. And then I have something called Violet the Viral Thread Maker. And you can basically just take a topic. So stop. Oh my gosh, I totally do this. Stop starting your videos with, hey guys, and just wait for a few people to hop on. I always say, hey friends. I need to maybe work on that. Or it could just be my signature thing. Who knows? Oh, that's interesting. So these are like little controversial things. So you can come over to that viral thread maker and it's going to give you, if you've seen the post where you just put like a few words on Facebook, then this will give you the comment bullets that you can put below it. Okay. So I know that I have shared a ton today. If you are interested, I want to invite you to my Skool community because this is where we teach all of this. I went super fast over a lot of things today. And the reason is I just wanted to show you the power. There's so much that Notebook can do. And if you're interested, I would love to invite you over there. I'll share the link in the chat. I know many of you have already joined us, but we're just slowly building it out. And right now we have the shell is there for you to get in and build your company details and then also be able to anchor your vision. And then I'll also be adding all of these tools into the classroom so that you could come in and use them as you're creating content. So I'll pause. Thank you so much. If there is anyone who, Jana, I love it. Thank you. She said she can't say enough about it. No, Angie didn't ask me to say this, but I sure do appreciate that. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer anything or any ideas that you want to share. Okay, I'll be sending a replay along with all of these many suggestions and look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care.